Should you sell your home as is? No. I should probably elaborate. Do you even know what as is means? Because most people don't. And that alone is a problem. It muddies the waters. Stay tuned as I walk through some basic seller strategy that I think is super important. I have to say, most people do not really know what the seller means by as is. Does it mean that there are definitely defects in the house? Does it mean that the seller skips the fix-ups before listing the house? Even the ones that might get the house through the appraisal process? Does it mean the seller doesn't wish to make any inspection repairs that a buyer might ask for? Does it mean that the buyer may not have a home inspection to begin with? Does it mean that the buyer may not ask for repairs? Chances are the seller hasn't thought through all of these questions. Generally, as is means the seller does not intend to agree to repairs that a buyer might request. But buyers do want to have a home inspection to protect themselves. And when things come up on that, they have the right to back out. So does a seller want to have a conversation about those items before the buyer simply terminates? I certainly would. And how much in repairs or a credit might keep this deal together? It isn't a great look going back on the market after being pending inspection. Buyers immediately and their realtors want to know what's wrong with the house. That's the first question that they ask when a property is relisted. I'm just showing you how muddy the waters are when you try to go as is. Let's talk first about the seller who doesn't want to spend money to prep the house for the market. This happens all the time. As a 30-year realtor, I think you can always get more money by doing some basic repairs before listing. Basically ensuring that the house is financeable. There's no rot, there's no bare wood, conditions conducive to dry rot. The roof's okay, seismic restraints around the water heater, carbon monoxide detectors, basic stuff. You do better by exposing the house to everyone than you can by selling to a cash investor who must also build in a profit. A buyer who wants to occupy the house themselves does not need a profit baked in. They most likely will, however, need to get a mortgage. So we need to survive an appraisal. And those items I mentioned will get you through the appraisal. And we do help people sell to investors on occasion. Why? Because there might be real life reasons why just walking away from the whole thing might be desirable. Not having money to make some basic repairs isn't a totally great reason, because we can offer to loan the money for those repairs and be paid back out of the closing proceeds through a program that we have access to. We can help make a punch list of what to do and explain why it makes sense to do those things. We can even help line up the contractors. We can let them in when the time comes to do the work. So these are fixes that will return more than 100% of their cost. If I told you you could get a 10% return on an investment in a month or two, that would be amazing when annualized, right? You might accomplish this by putting in new carpet, for example. What if I said you could use someone else's money up front? That return on investment is incalculably high because you didn't spend anything to earn the return. So there aren't great logical arguments for skipping the pre-sale prep, but there are highly personal life reasons why you might just want to walk away. Okay, so how about if the house already is financeable, but the seller doesn't want to do any inspection requests? There might be an argument for saying this is as is. The buyer might remember those words when they're doing their home inspection and going over the report. Maybe they won't ask for repairs, but they probably will. but you are setting an expectation that could come in handy. I still don't love it though, because I think when you tell a buyer that a house is as is, the implication is that you know there are going to be issues and that the buyer is going to have to accept those. They will then feel like they need to buy the house at a discounted price, right? So is your price discounted to begin with? Sellers always think it is. The market will likely tell you. You'll either get offers or you won't. Then you drop the price until you find where the market is. So you might have been able to snare a buyer at the higher price if there wasn't that muddy as-is language to begin with. In conclusion, I do not think using as-is language is in your best interest as a seller. I believe you'll do better if you work with a professional realtor to get the house market ready and let the buyer do their normal due diligence. I want to encourage you to watch my other videos, particularly those relating to selling your home, and subscribe to the channel for more totally free seller tips based on 30 years in the trenches.